We begin tonight with a surprising development in the story of those swastikas painted on the door of a student at George Washington University. Good evening, I'm Doreen Gensler.
And I'm Jim Vance. Turns out the student was painting the hateful symbols herself.
The FBI was called in to assist after swastikas kept appearing on a message board, similar to a dry erase board, on the door of a female student, she is Jewish, who lived in Mitchell Hall. Now the university confirms that a hidden camera placed in the hallway confirmed the student who was the apparent victim did it herself. News 4 spoke to that young woman who asked not to be identified. Here's what she had to say at that time.
Who does such a thing?
I wish I knew. I wish I had any clue who this was, but university police, my house proctor, administrators, nobody can think of a motive of somebody who hates me that much.
Through the use of hidden cameras, interviews, and increased police patrols, we have concluded, and through a final interview today, that the student who reported the incidents is responsible for the incidents.
Hate crime detectives have arrested 56-year-old David Haddad for a string of anti-Semitic messages here in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. Now, my police sources are telling me that he's also the prime suspect in a rash of swastika incidents and a phone threat made here in Midwood over the weekend. And what's surprising here, police say Haddad is Jewish. The disturbing discoveries were made Saturday night. Then Sunday evening, a couple in this neighborhood returned home to find a message on their voicemail threatening repeatedly to kill all Jews.
Someone spray-painted swastikas on his house, finds himself in jail. Schenectady police say 54-year-old Andrew King spray-painted those swastikas on his own Chilswell Street home.
Terms all the time in the news: hate crime, culture of hate. But what does it really mean? And how many of those so-called crimes are real?
Last month, Israeli police arrested a 19-year-old Israeli Jewish man as the primary suspect in hundreds of bomb threats against Jewish community centers in the U.S.
The story landed Herman and Roma Rosenblatt on Oprah twice and in newspapers all over the world. They also got a book and movie deal. But the story wasn't true.
How can you say it wasn't a lie? It wasn't true, and you know it's not true.
When the attack was reported last week, it seemed believable. The Jewish owner of a Winnipeg cafe physically attacked her family's business, trashed and painted in anti-Semitic graffiti. It shocked the community and led to an outpouring of support, exactly the way you'd expect. But then, today, it all got turned upside down. Police say the cafe owners staged the whole thing and have charged them with a crime. As Cameron McIntosh tells us, even as the family sticks by its story, the community is in shock once again.
Did you fake the vandalism around this one?
We didn't. Because we don't joke about swastika on our walls.
They flatly deny it, insisting they are in fact victims of hate. Oksana Barent and her son Maxim explaining themselves on CBC Radio just after being charged along with Oksana's husband hours before for public mischief.
In this moment, somebody grabbed me.
She insists on last Thursday night she was alone inside her Winnipeg cafe when she was attacked. The cafe was also robbed and vandalized with anti-Semitic graffiti. The story caused an outpouring of sympathy and defiant denouncements of hate, until today.
In the end, we found evidence of a crime. It just wasn't a hate crime. I am hugely disappointed and frankly angry that this family has used hate and racism in such a disingenuous way.
It's not something that we do. It's against our Jewish law. It's against our beliefs.
They can find any evidence against anybody.
At first, some members of Winnipeg's Jewish community deemed it the most brazen local anti-Semitic attack in memory. Now, B'nai B'rith says if these allegations are true, it damages the entire community.
This is a betrayal of the community and a betrayal of also the police. It's a waste of time. And of course, people might roll their eyes at incidents in the future and think, oh, is it true or is it not?
If the charges are upheld by court, it's disgusting.
The cafe had been up for sale, as is Oksana's home. Bernie Bellin writes for Winnipeg's Jewish Post and News. He says hate attacks involving assault are rare.
My first instinct was that this is terrible, but it doesn't have the normal hallmarks of an anti-Semitic incident.
But the Barons insist they were targeted and say they're scared.
Well, signs of hate appear once again in Brooklyn.
Swastikas drawn on houses, garages, horrible words like "die Jews." This happened in Midwood. There's a swastika, primarily Jewish neighborhood. This has been happening a lot lately. Let's go to Ty Hernandez. She has more. Ty?
Good morning, Greg and Rosanna. This is a community on edge and on alert. Yet another anti-Semitic incident. This time, as you said, swastikas scrawled on 2 private residences, an apartment building, and a yeshiva, as well as another anti-Semitic comment. People are very much concerned. They called police 10:45 Saturday night to alert them to this situation. And we actually have Assemblyman Dov Hikind here, who is reporting another incident that he's been made aware of just last night. Good morning. What can you tell us?
What I can tell you is that last night I received a call from someone literally within this area that we are standing, that they received a horrible call at home, a call filled with hate. And basically the message was, and I listened to the tape, and it's been turned over to the police, all Jews are going to die. All Jews must die one by one. All Jews going to hell. It was just something absolutely horrible. The people were terrified. I called the police. They came down. They listened to the tape. They are following up. The question is, number one, are they the only ones who received this message of hate? They had absolutely no clue. They were afraid. I mean, there was fear in their face. So the police are investigating that as well. All these incidents in this community, but it's way beyond that. It's happening all over. And the question in everybody's mind is, what's happening? Why is this happening? I have never seen, representing this community now in my 30th year, incidents of anti-Semitism, racism. It happens all the time. But
is there any surveillance video that you know of that may have captured Saturday night's incident?
As far as I know, there isn't any. The police are doing, the resources they're putting into it is unbelievable. I know that. The commander, John Sprague, locally here, they're doing everything. But people are scared. People are nervous. People are asking questions. A child right down there where there was a swastika asked her mother yesterday. The mother said to me, the child saw the swastika and said to her mother, can the Holocaust happen here? An 11-year-old asking her mother that question.
Well, clearly this is very much a priority for you, Assemblyman Dov Hikind, and the New York City Police Department. I understand that they are asking in this community that the NYPD install more cameras and have more patrols. Clearly this is the 10th incident now in New York City over the past 3 months, acts of anti-Semitism, and people are concerned. That is the latest from here in Midwood. Greg and Rosanna, back to you.
Now police say they are investigating whether Haddad had anything to do with the swastikas found in Midwood this weekend. This as local officials are putting pressure on cops to make an arrest. News 12's Stephanie Ramirez has more.
It is not something should be ignored, because Germany started like this.
These are the real fears many members of this Midwood community are sharing after the recent outbreak in anti-Semitic vandalism. Swastikas were drawn on a Jewish children's school over the weekend, and messages of hate filled a garage and wall just down the block. The swastikas were drawn in this bottom area here at the yeshiva, and you can see it was rubbed out right here, but local officials say that is still not enough.
The only real answer is for the police department to make an arrest.
Assemblyman Dov Hikind, who lives just steps away from the yeshiva and this vandalized garage, is joining several local elected officials who say it's not only up to the community but the police to put an end to these crimes, noting the fact that police still haven't made an arrest in the November car bombing act.
This has sort of unnerved the entire community, and I want to say to this community, there's no reason to be scared. People are scared.
Local officials are reminding members of the community to contact police if they have any information. In the meantime, those in this Midwood community, even non-religious members, have this to say to the culprits.
Go to school and grow up.
In Midwood, Stephanie Ramirez, News 12, Brooklyn.
A recent string of anti-Semitic threats was allegedly the work of a Jewish man who had a business dispute with family members. 56-year-old David Haddad was arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated harassment as a hate crime. Investigators say he made a series of threatening and anti-Semitic phone calls to elderly women. A Chelsea building where one of the women lived was also vandalized with anti-Semitic graffiti. The New York Times says Haddad knew all of the victims and is related to 2 of them. Sources say police are also investigating whether Haddad was behind swastika graffiti painted over the weekend in Midwood, where he reportedly also has family.
Jewish man arrested in connection with a spree of anti-Semitic vandalism? Strange but true. A family business dispute is said to have driven the New York man to make anti-Semitic hate calls to elderly women, including his mother, and paint swastikas on their doors. He is also suspected of spraying anti-Semitic graffiti in a heavily Orthodox Brooklyn neighborhood, and the attacks had prompted the Anti-Defamation League to offer a reward for information leading to his arrest. The news of David Haddad's arrest comes as newspaper reports also suggest that a separate series of attacks on cars in a Jewish neighborhood last year are being investigated as an insurance scam instead of a hate crime.
Growing reports of anti-Semitic incidents across the country. Let's discuss now. Rabbi Shmuley Voteiek, does it seem to you that anti-Semitism is on the rise?
Well, if you just attend any synagogue around the United States, you'll know that it's on the rise because there's never been security like there is today in front of Jewish day schools, in front of Jewish houses of worship.
Some are saying, and if you've heard the rabbi who was on before, is saying that she believes that part of it is the rise of Trump and the Trump administration.
There's new pressure on the president to do more to address fears of rising anti-Semitism across the United States. It follows this attack on a Jewish cemetery in Missouri over the weekend and another wave of bomb threats made against almost a dozen Jewish community centers yesterday.
CBS 2's Jessica Moore explains parents are likely wondering how to talk to their kids about the recent barrage of anti-Semitic attacks.
The final ad of his campaign, where he showed three Jews, Soros, Yellen, and Blankfein, and spoke in very classically anti-Semitic terms about global power structure, global power interest.
A U.S. law enforcement official tells CBS News the threatening phone calls to JCCs and similar Jewish centers appear to be coordinated.
I don't remember things like this happening until recently.
Last month, staff and parents hurried children to safety. Some babies wheeled away in cribs.
I'm sorry I get teary. It's because of the Holocaust.
I'm not saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't know his soul, but things that have encouraged anti-Semites. Going back a few years ago when he referred to Jon Stewart repeatedly as John Leibowitz. Why did he do that?
The 18-year-old claimed three drunken young white men taunted her, assaulted her, and hurled a barrage of anti-Islam slurs. She told police the men kept screaming Donald Trump's names, later blamed the attack on Donald Trump, saying, quote, the president-elect just promotes this stuff and is very anti-Muslim, very Islamophobic, and he's just condoning it.
White supremacy, white nationalism, whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever the hell the shorthand is today for people who supported Donald Trump.
And no one needs to teach the Jewish community about how we can suffer under white supremacists. The Holocaust was just 70 years ago.
No matter where you come from, especially in New York, being such a diverse city, this should never happen.
Don't worry, dude. It didn't happen. The whole thing was a hoax.
A Muslim American teen arrested for lying to police in New York City after making up a story that she was attacked for being a Muslim.
According to a report, a disgraced journalist has been arrested for making at least 8 threats against Jewish community centers.
31-year-old Juan Thompson was arraigned Friday afternoon in St. Louis.
He does not appear to be the main person behind the wave of threats that targeted centers all across the nation, rather a copycat. A Jewish teenager believed responsible for many recent threats has been arrested today in Israel.
He and his father, who was also arrested, may have phoned in more than 100 bomb threats in schools and community centers in the U.S., Israel, and New Zealand. People in the local community say it's relief, but it also raises many questions.
The point I'm making is the reason why our country is so divided is all of us are guilty of putting partisanship and politics before values. What are the values? Human life is of infinite value. And that means that every administration, from the previous one to the present one, must welcome in refugees.
I had cold chills run all the way through me, and I was kind of fearful. I never thought with such a ethnically diverse area that this sort of thing would happen here.
Okay, Rabbi.
We begin tonight with a surprising development in the story of those swastikas painted on the door of a student at George Washington University.
Turns out the student was painting the hateful symbols herself.
And the Jewish man claiming someone spray-painted swastikas on his house finds himself in jail. Schenectady police say 54-year-old Andrew King spray-painted those swastikas on his own Chilswell Street home.
You know, this horrible thing that we all woke up to this morning, 3 cars completely destroyed,
swastikas on the benches, 15 or 16 swastikas.
Car fires in Brooklyn, once thought to be a bias crime, reportedly now being investigated as a possible insurance scam.
I walk these streets with my mother every Sabbath. My mother, who survived Auschwitz, went to Auschwitz in 1944. My mother went straight to the gas chamber.
I wish I had any clue who this was, but university police, my house proctor, administrators, nobody can think of a motive.
I don't want the message to be, let's catch who did this. That's not going to solve anything for the future, I don't think. I think let's talk about, why is this so painful? Why does this bring up images of terror? Of terror.
State crime detectives have arrested 56-year-old David Haddad for a string of anti-Semitic messages here in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. Now, my police sources are telling me that he's also the prime suspect in a rash of swastika incidents and a phone threat made here in Midwood over the weekend. And what's surprising here, police say Haddad is Jewish.
The story landed Herman and Roma Rosenblatt on Oprah twice and in newspapers all over the world. They also got a book and movie deal. But the story wasn't true.
Why did you do it? Why did you tell such a big lie to so many people for so long?
It wasn't a lie. It was my imagination. And in my imagination, in my mind, I believed it.
And while you were up on the stage there, kind of all those people, in the back of your mind, were you not thinking, I'm not telling the truth here?
No.
So if you had to do it over again, would you tell the same story?
Yeah.
You would?
Yes.
For the skin of the dead people, they will make beautiful skins, like the purses for the Germans. They will make anything. And then the flesh, they will sometimes, when they burn, if they were not burned, they will use it to make sausages.
That long nails, that size, and my little fingers thick, and then they nailed it in my head. That was hurting like crazy. I was screaming, and I was going in a coma, and then I finally come out, and there was that nail in there.